on American Sports 365. Here with me once again is my colleague Alex. So, some more Arsenal stuff to discuss. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, first of all, Arsenal finally announced the signing of Declan Rice. I think that announcement has been coming for a while now, but the paperwork is all done, and now I have an official announcement. So Declan Rice is officially an Arsenal player now. So what are your thoughts on Arsenal finally officially announcing Declan Rice as a new Arsenal player?
Yeah, glad it finally got done. Sure took a while.
Yeah. I think that the Arsenal, we're kind of working on completing the transfers of Declan Rice and Jurgen Timber at the same time. And obviously, when we're talking about spending that much money on a player, you really want the announcement to be special too, because I think Declan Rice is a huge addition in terms of talent, but obviously also in terms of the transfer fee. So, who knows why it took that long, but good to finally see that announcement for sure. And I'm very excited about seeing Declan Rice play for Arsenal next season. I think he's going to be fantastic. So, moving on, Arsenal also announced the signing of Jurgen Timber, another transfer that seemingly on the verge of being completely done, and seemed to be completely done, and we're kind of just waiting on an announcement again, kind of like Declan Rice, although obviously for a much smaller fee. So Jurgen Timber signed a 5-year contract and joined Arsenal for a fee of up to £45 million, $40 million up front, and $5 million potential future add-ons. Anyway, but definitely good to finally see that deal announced, and definitely look forward to seeing Jurgen Timber play for Arsenal as well. What are your thoughts on the official announcement of Jurgen Timber as a new Arsenal player?
Yeah, I'm also happy that announcement finally got done. It's a bit of a steep fee for a backup central defender, but hopefully he'll just keep getting better and better.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more than I would have expected Arsenal to pay for a player that young, but he's obviously quite talented and played well for Ajax last season, both in the Eredivisie and also in the Champions League. So he does have some experience, despite the fact that obviously at 22 he's still quite young, but that potential is one of the reasons why there were a lot of big clubs interested in signing him. So it's good to see Arsenal win that race and secure the signing of Jurgen Timber. Obviously, Arsenal definitely needed to add more depth in defense. We saw what happened to the team after Saliba got injured. Arsenal's defense was obviously much worse as a result of that. So it's good to see Arsenal shore up their defense a bit and ensure that one injury in defense won't derail the entire season, which is pretty much what happened with Saliba last season.
Yep.
So the news about Thomas Partey is the other thing we have to discuss. Arsenal have obviously already sold Granit Xhaka to Bayer Leverkusen, and apparently a Saudi Pro League club was interested in Thomas Partey. There are some sources that say he's already agreed personal terms with him. Apparently Arsenal want at least £35 million, but between £35 and £40 million to sell Thomas Partey. I don't know if it will really happen, and to be honest, I think Arsenal should really do everything they can to keep Thomas Partey. I think he's really a huge part of the team, and despite the fact that he is getting a little bit older, I don't think he's really showing any signs of major decline, and so I think Arsenal really need to try and keep hold of him if they can. So your thoughts on the Saudi Pro League club's interest in Thomas Partey?
Yeah, I don't think we should sell him unless they make a ridiculous offer because I think he is still an important contributor.
Yeah, he definitely is. I think Thomas Partey got a little bit run down toward the end of the season. He had some bad games, but I think that was mostly due to fatigue. So I think that was a lot of that was really down to a lack of rotation, and uh, you know, a bit also in terms of a lack of depth at that position in midfield for Arsenal, which is one of the reasons why they signed Declan Rice in the first place. Um, but yeah, I agree. I think Thomas Partey is still a really big part of the team, even with the addition of Declan Rice. I think if you're going to look about from the perspective of what player Declan Rice is replacing, I don't really think it's Partey. I think it's Xhaka. I think he's going to play more in that role in that area of the pitch, generally speaking. So I don't think Declan Rice was really signed to be a Thomas Partey replacement. And yeah, I would prefer Arsenal keep hold of him unless they get a really, really big offer, like you said. I think he's still going to be really important to the team next season. So hopefully Arsenal can convince him to stay at the club. Obviously, I've seen a lot of good players, join Saudi Arabian clubs lately. Likely mostly just due to the money that's being offered. You've already seen, big name players like Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, and others, Karim Benzema as well, also get massive deals. But hopefully Thomas Partey doesn't join that list of players leaving top European leagues to play in Saudi Arabia.
Hopefully not.
Well, there you have it. Not as much news this time, but still some important developments. So it's good to see Declan Rice and Jurgen Timber both finally being officially announced as Arsenal players. We all know those coming for a while, but it's good to actually see that happen. And I'm a bit concerned about Saudi Pro League clubs' interest in Thomas Partey. Hopefully Arsenal can keep hold of him. I think he's still going to be a really important part of the team, especially since obviously Arsenal will be competing in the Champions League next season. So hopefully they can ward off that interest and just try to move forward in terms of building on top of the team, not having to go out and sign another midfielder in order to replace Thomas Partey.
Yep.